Is this any good? I'm like glowing. I feel like I should change where I put the umbrella. Holler. If you can hear me, type in the comments. I'm gonna change up where I got this shade. Otherwise, otherwise I'll be cooking, teaching class. Excuse me while I carry a giant umbrella across the screen. All right. Let's set it up over here. Nothing's ever simple, is it? Never. Let's see as we open it up. Are we gonna get shade on our yoga mat? Do 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 do. Ho 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 ho. Yes, sir. Find a cozy spot. Am I right? Who's here? Stephanie. Hassan, welcome in. Donna, how are you? Lucille, welcome in, welcome in. I'm just getting prepped, getting ready to teach some yoga. Can you hear me? Aw, thank you for tapping on the screen. Y'all, the more you tap on the screen, the more people find out what's happening here, which is badass, accessible. Yes, I am. I'm not live on YouTube right now. I need to figure out the mic situation better before I do that. The mic that I normally use two in tandem, right? One for YouTube and one for my cell phone on TikTok, they don't work well next to each other. So I have to problem solve that for a little longer. But we'll be live here on TikTok until I do. And if you get my newsletters, I'll keep you up to date. If you don't get my newsletters, all you have to do is like sign up for a live class and they're all free and you'll join it. I think you can also sign up for the newsletter on the website, or just send me a private message with your email and I'll add you. But we're gonna teach some Fat Friday yoga tonight. I just wanna get some things set up. Now, y'all know what I do is to like prep for teaching yoga. All the leaves, my little electric leaf blower. I'll cover up the mic so we don't just like murder your ears, but this is what I do every day, sometimes twice a day, depending on how often I practice. Above me, I don't even know if you can hear me still, but above me are cherry laurel trees, and they are absolutely stunning, right? Except for they drop a ton of leaves. How are you, C? How are you, Kimberly? How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. We're gonna start our practice seated in about 4 minutes. Until then, thank you for tapping the screen. I love it. I am blessed by the hard work of your fingers. Oh, yep. I'm still 12 years old inside. How are you all? How was your Friday? What time is it where you are? What are you up to? You gonna practice with me? Are you looking just to hang out? We can spend time cozy together. Like, we can just hang out. You don't have to move to chill with me. Like, you can sit at our table. No? No one has plans for this weekend? You know what my plans are? My plans for this weekend? Become a couch potato and then maybe use my husband's birthday present to weed the garden. I got him a wheelbarrow. So, that's sexy. That's my social time. No, my social life. That's getting older for you. That's what what growing up is all about. You're like nurturing your own self, protecting your own needs fiercely. That is something that I never did growing up. I never even knew how to. I was such a people pleaser. But the older that I get, the more fiercely I protect my time, the effort and the energy that I know it's going to take to nourish my basic needs. It's hard to ask for those things. I felt ashamed and guilty for a long time. I felt like I wasn't good enough. And even when I did start to believe that I was worthy of asking for that space for myself, or to retain that energy just for me and not anybody else, I was worried that other people didn't see my worthiness. I was terrified that people would look at me and be like, oh my gosh, look at her. Take all that time and space when she should be doing all of these things. And I was most worried about judgment from my partner. And I live a life in freedom from that. And it was quite a journey of owning my worthiness. And nobody else had to do any work. No one else had to change their opinion. No one else had to change how they treated me. It was me. I had to change my opinion about myself. I had to change my opinion about how I deserve to be treated. And I had to change my opinion about letting other people down. Because I always felt like letting other people down, disappointing them, frustrating them, was a reflection of me. I did that a lot. Neurodivergence will do that to you growing up in a large body, because I've been fat my whole life. Like, I went to see a nutritionist at 8 years old, and told that, a serving of chicken is the size of a deck of cards. And this 98-pound nutritionist lady was trying to tell this little 98-pound, 8-year-old girl how to lose weight. And I'm sorry if that's triggering. I should have done a trigger warning. And I had no idea of my worth. I had no idea that I wasn't just always a disappointment, and I wasn't always letting people down, right? So a lot of us in marginalized identities and bodies experience that a lot. People treating us like we are worthless, like we are frustrating, like we are not good enough. And so we start to believe it. We treat ourselves that way, and the body responds, right? The mind responds, and life does not get easier. Neither of them feel better for it. So much of my personal healing journey in my body, releasing chronic pain, releasing chronic tension, healing my nervous system, which is like my biggest flex, is that I can go into a mobilized space of fight, flight, fawn, and recognize it, and use my practices to draw me back down into a place of rest, digest, and heal, even in the midst of chaos, even in the midst of fear. I recognize it because I've practiced it through the shit we're doing here, and I invite myself back into the present, knowing I have control over my reaction to a degree. And the more I practice this work of mindful awareness, of breath work, pranayama, of somatic awareness, the more easily it is for me to move through life in a place of regulation. And when my nervous system gets mobilized, it's mobilized because of joy. Right? I'm getting excited because I am excited, not because I'm anxious. And the brain doesn't know the difference. The body doesn't know the difference. It responds to them the same way. And so if you've grown up all anxiety, it's all you're ever going to know. You're healing your nervous system, healing trauma, healing your relationship with yourself allows that sensation in your body to become excitement instead of anxiety, to become courage instead of fear. Right? To speak loudly instead of shut down. That's what happens. But it takes time, repetition, patience. This is my preaching. Y'all are hanging out. I love it. All right, beautiful humans. Let's get to moving. Let us do it. The wee ones of us that are. So we'll start seated. The first thing that I do to support my beautiful body is I grab a blanket or a bolster. A bolster is just like a thicker, more solid blanket because you're going to roll it up to take a seat on it. I'm going to keep my strap close by, keep a set of blocks close by. Maybe you have all of that. Maybe you just have like a robe tie and a blanket from your couch. It really doesn't matter. It's all beautiful. And then we take a seat up on that blanket. And the beauty here is that our sits bones, those bony protrusions underneath your butt cheeks, are lifted from the earth. And as they're lifted, more space is created between the bottom of the belly and the top of the thighs. So that's the first thing that happens. The other thing is that the lumbar spine, this low part of the back, begins to align with the rest of your spine. It pulls in instead of rounds forward. Because there's space for the belly, there's also space to lift up tall. So the spine becomes nice and long. And I want to show you a visual here. Just take your time. You might play with your seat. Maybe the legs are extended out with some space. Maybe you keep them cross-legged. But here's what happens. So when there's no blanket, I sit down. My belly is in competition with my thighs. And then as I sit naturally, you can see how my back rounds, even up into the thoracic and the cervical spine here, all the way up. And this is not how we want to sit with shoulders forward. We want to sit nice and tall, maybe a gentle opening of the shoulders here. And we want it to be easy. But if you're like me and you've got a sweet belly and those thick ass thighs that save lives, you're going to want to put some cushion under your butt. It doesn't just make the booty soft. We know we don't need more cushion, although I'm not here to tell you more ain't better. Now look what's happened. There's room for my belly without any effort at all. I'm not even reaching tall. I'm sitting in my natural posture. See how the rounding of my back is almost completely gone? Now, to lengthen the spine, to find this nice long straight spine, all I need to do on an inhale is just gently lift through the top of the head. On an exhale, let your shoulders drop towards the earth. All we did here was put some cushion under our seat, and you're going to find that you can sit like this for a long time, and you are just naturally correcting your posture. This is what we're going to do. This is Fat Friday Yoga. I teach somatic yoga for all different bodies, but this class specifically is focused on adoring and loving and supporting those in larger bodies, those in thicker forms who are often excluded from these spaces because they can't make the same shape as someone in a smaller body. And that's just ridiculous. That's some westernized BS, and we're here to throw it out. So you might like wadded up the imaginary, like westernized, colonized idea of yoga. We're just gonna smash it up in a ball. It's trash. You can't even recycle it. Like, no, it's plastic, like unrecyclable, like that thin plastic that covers things. We're gonna wad it up. This is the belief that yoga is for weight loss, that yoga has anything to do with weight loss. Crumple that up, smash it up. That's thin plastic. We can't even recycle it. It's garbage. We're going to smash up the beliefs that yoga is all about love and light and peace. Oh my goodness, no, it is not. Yoga is about exploring your dark shadow self. Yoga is about cracking yourself wide open to the rawest parts of yourself, shining love in there. Love is not always light. Sometimes love is fire. Sometimes love is hard and scary, but love is, well, when you're not sure, right? When you're, sometimes love is hard. It's not, well, it is scary. Let's be honest. That is yoga. Yoga is not peace and love and everyone getting along. Nope. Yoga is looking out for the rights of the most vulnerable. Yoga is ensuring that everyone has space at the table for the meal. Yoga is equity, not just equality. All of these things are, that say anything otherwise, is westernized ideals, okay? It's not about the shape you make. It doesn't say that anywhere in like the 10,000 years of written yoga, like the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Like, it doesn't matter the exact shape that you make. How deep you get doesn't mean you're better at yoga. My goodness, no. Crumple it all up, throw it away. Be done. Meet yourself here without all of that BS, a blank slate. You are here to practice the yoga as it was created 10,000 years ago. as it was documented thousands and thousands of years ago. And that yoga is the stilling of the whirlwind of the mind stuff. And we use somatic awareness, which is just inviting your mind to be present with the sensations of your body, especially as you're intentionally bringing movement. You might take a forward fold here, just lower the heart and belly. And as you do, notice where sensation intensifies, right? As muscles pull, as fascia stretches in the body, your sense receptors can feel that. Your pain receptors might light up and say, oh, something's happening here. We just notice that. The noticing of it is somatics, right? That is somatic awareness. That is your mind traveling into your body to build into reception, this mind-body connection. And the more you practice the simplicity of noticing sensation, the more easily you can do this, right? And what you find is, here we are on the mat, intentionally bringing sensation, right? From your seat, from wherever you are, we'll intentionally bring sensation by drawing circles with our hips. So imagine there's a pencil sticking out the top of your head, graphite side up, and then moving with the pelvic bowl, keeping your neck in alignment with the rest of your spine. Draw circles on the ceiling and start those circles like dinner plate, watermelon sized, kind of small for the hips. Let your awareness drop down into the low back, into the hips, into the pelvic bowl here. What sensations can you feel as you draw these circles? Do you notice how, as the body shifts, sensation shifts? Maybe as the heart rounds back, you feel the abdomen engage. Maybe as the heart rounds forward, you feel the low back engage. We're just drawing these circles, creating this connection between the mind and the body. And we do it while the jaw and the tongue remain relaxed, while the shoulders remain soft, and while you keep this nice long length through the spine. And then let those circles start to grow. Each circle a little bigger than the one before it. Whoo. Until you're drawing these circles just as big as you want to go. And no, you can keep the hands on the knees or the thighs as some support for the core of the body, or you might bring the palms to the heart center and use the muscles of the trunk of your body to do this movement. You can take it even further and inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. You might interlace the fingers, pointing those pointer fingers up. This is Kali Mudra or Temple Mudra. This just adds weight to the upper body, so we're engaging even more muscles. And then wherever you are, pause, switch directions. Again, arms might be outstretched. They might be here in Anjali Mudra. They might be down on the thighs. And Westernized yoga will say, oh, this is the best one. If you can do this, you're the most fit because that's the most important. And yoga, as it is, before Westernizedness came, would have laughed in your face and said, oh goodness, no, it has nothing to do with how strong you are in your body and everything to do with, can you feel what's happening inside of you? Do you notice the stories your mind tells you about what's happening? Maybe it says, oh, you need to move more. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, it hurts. Oh, you're not good enough. Listen to those tapes for a moment. And then you might be like, hold up. Nuh-uh. Not now. As the heart rounds towards the earth, pause. Make space for the belly. Now listen, extend the legs out if you want to. You don't have to stay crisscross applesauce in Sukhasana. You pull the belly in between those luscious thighs. On an inhale of your choice, keep that length through the spine. Melt the heart a little further forward. You might walk the hands away from the body as the heart melts. And then if it feels right, let the top of the head weight towards the earth. Relax through the back of the neck. Relax your jaw. Relax your tongue and your mouth. Let it soften here. And then when you're ready, press down through the heels of your feet. So you're pressing your heels of your feet down into the earth. Use the strength of your legs to curl the body up, vertebra by vertebra. Continue pressing into the heels of your feet. Feel how strong you are as you rise up. The body is connected. So often when we lift or roll up, we forget to even engage the lower half of our body, not realizing it deeply supports the whole upper back. So each time that you lean forward or bend over to rise up, press through the pads of your feet and feel how the lower body supports you. Should we do that one more time? Let's do it wider. Take a wider slice. Now, I say this every time, but just like with cake or pizza, sometimes your body's hungry and you want like the biggest slice that you can get. And that's cool. But eating a big slice of cake doesn't make you better than someone whose body feels like a smaller slice of cake today. It's just cake. So find your slice of this dessert. And when you're ready, an inhale finds that length once more. I love you guys. Exhale, melt the heart center. This time, keep the hands close to the body, and as the heart and the belly melt, you might tuck it in. Excuse me. We're going to keep the elbows tucked in towards the side of the body, and as the heart melts, bend through the elbows. Nice and slow. You're going to notice that your toes want to curl inward. That's super natural. You're going to invite them back up towards the sky and continue to melt. As low as the body wants to go here. And then we're going to do some forward fold cobra rolls. So on an exhale of your choice, drop the top of the head towards the earth. As you inhale, press to the palms, curl up vertebra by vertebra. The head is the last to rise. And as you do, hang out here lifted for a breath or two. We're going to lift through the chin, lift through the heart, because cobra opens this heart center. And then if you'd like, squeeze those shoulder blades back. Like you want to pinch that pencil back between the shoulder blades now, just opening up the heart center. To start a little flow, on the exhale, the heart lowers, but that chin remains lifted. And then lower the top of the head at the bottom of the exhale. Inhale, curl up vertebra by vertebra. So you're starting a wave flow in your body. Moving with your breath. Inviting your mind to become deeply aware of how sensation floats, shifts, and moves through your physical body. And then you're also going to check out those toes. Have they curled inwards again? Do you need to open those toes towards the sky? On your next inhale, rise up all the way. Bring the feet together. Pressing through those heels. Here we are in traditional staff pose. Staff pose is meant to lengthen the back body. So we press through the heels, tuck the toes towards the heart. This boost underneath our cheeks is going to give us space for our belly. If there's not enough space to sit comfortably up, you might lift the belly atop the thighs. That feels so good. Or grab a second blanket. Either way, I don't forward fold in staff pose because it removes all the space from my breath. And if I want to stretch the low back, there are a ton of other ways that I can do it that don't involve discomfort. In the same way that there are some luscious poses that our big bodies can do that are struggle for smaller bodies. And we should do a class all about that in the future. 90-90. It's the most delicious. Swing one leg out towards the side, and then you're going to bend that same knee back behind you. Plant that inner ankle. This is a lot on that hip, I know. The mind notices sensation. That is somatic awareness. You are already healing your nervous system. You are already healing your relationship with yourself. You're healing your relationship between your mind and your body just by showing up, just by noticing this. It's wild, right? This front leg, we're going to bend that knee, plant the outer ankle. Now, if this hip with the toes pointed back behind you is talking loud, you might rock forward, lift that blanket from beneath both hips. I like to fold it in half to get some double height here. And then whichever leg is in the front of the body, hello microphone, whichever leg is in the front of the body, we want to support that hip. Even if it's not the one talking to us. It seems counterintuitive, but it evens out the pelvic bowl and puts less strain on the hip socket. So here we are, using our props to bring delicious relief to our beautiful, strong bodies. On an inhale, you might once more find that length. Exhale, melt the heart forward. You might plant the hands. You might use blocks to walk the hands out, keeping the spine nice and long, making lots of space for the belly. And then I even like to gently tuck it in, re-square the heart down with the earth, and melt forward. Whew. Fold as much as the body says yes to. And then walk both hands on over towards the left, just as far as they want to go. We'll keep that left hand planted. Take the right hand, and if you've got a tummy, you're going to sweep it up on top of this inner left thigh. Just a gentle twist is really going to help us turn with the whole of our spine. And all I did was just not treat my stomach like it was disgusting, because it's not. It's beautiful. It's a part of me. It's carried children. It's carried fat that has kept me warm. It's processed food that helped me deal with feelings that I might otherwise not have lived through. My belly is beautiful. And so I make space for it here. When you're ready, you might keep that left hand planted. Inhale, sweep the right arm open and back behind you. Again, we're squeezing that pencil between the shoulder blades, opening the heart. And then let your gaze follow that outstretched hand. I'm hypermobile, so I always want to like collapse into my joints here. I'm going to invite you to press length into both arms as you squeeze those shoulder blades together. And then on your next exhale, close it up, thread this arm through your opening here. Again, check in with your beautiful belly. Do you want to tuck it atop the thigh as you explore just how much your body wants to twist into this? You might gaze back behind you here. And then when it feels right, plant both hands. We're going to walk on over to neutral and rise up tall. So from here, an opportunity, as you might know, to take pigeon. I'm just changing my view so you can see from a different angle here. Sitting nice and tall. 90-90 fold is beautiful. Again, make space for the belly in this thigh area. Lift through the top of the head. Exhale, melt the hands down. Blocks are a gorgeous choice here. Plant the hands, and then here's where it happens. You might stretch this back leg back behind you a lot. You might stretch it a little back behind you. You might enjoy curling those toes on the mat, pressing back through your heel, letting this knee lift, stretching through this front hip flexor. And then again, square the heart down with the earth. Whew. The further you press into that heel, the deeper this front body stretches. And then for me, sometimes it feels good to lower on down, to kind of cocoon myself up. Sometimes it feels nice to stay nice and tall and breathe space into the body. Either way, what I find is if I draw my breath deep down into the body, imagine my breath pooling down in my hips as I pour it into the body as deeply as you can inhale, and then let it go. A few breaths like that, and I already will start to tear up. Our body carries so much in the muscles of the hips and the low back that support us during times that are emotionally, mentally, and physically hard. And here we are releasing some of that tension, so it stands to reason some of those emotions are going to be released as well. If it feels nice, invite it in, breathe space into it. Let it flow. When you're ready, draw that leg, that knee back up, rise up tall. Let's find our way back into staff pose, lengthen through the heels. Whew. And then 90-90 on the other side when you're ready. So swing that left leg open, bend through both knees. And again, decide, do you want support underneath that right hip? Typically, unless I don't have a blanket, my answer is always yes, because there is so much deliciousness to explore. Also, any hypermobile babes out there, I'm telling you, it makes all the difference. On an inhale, find that length once more. Exhale, melt. Love on the belly as you continue to melt the heart down. You might walk the hands out away from the body. You might not. Both are luscious. And then in your own time, walking those hands on over towards the right, just as far as they want to go. On an inhale, open it up. Hold, explore. Look back at that outstretched hand. We're not sinking into those joints. We're creating, oh, thank you for tapping the screen, all this space. And then exhale, close it up. Thread that left arm through. Gently love on the belly. Sliding it up on top of this right thigh so that the spine can really participate. Take a few deep exhales here. I always get a good back pop. Inhale, open it up when you're ready. Exhale, close once more. Big old twist. Check back in with the tummy if it feels right. Beautiful. Plant the hands, walk back to your neutral 90-90 fold. And then from here, you might extend this left leg back. Maybe curling the toes, maybe not. Finding yourself in your pigeon pose. So for pigeon, if we want to get an aggressive stretch in that left front hip flexor, what do? We press back through that left heel. See? Ooh, you're going to feel it instantly. Your psoas is going to be like, ah. And you'll be like, yeah, baby, I know. We're in this together. You carry me, now I'm going to carry you. We talk to our bodies. Our bodies listen. That's absolutely true. Do you know that your fascia, if you don't know what fascia is, I will teach you. You can also, I think, go into my playlist and find it. Your fascia covers all your muscles, all your organs. It helps create your joints. It basically holds you together more so than any of your muscles or your bones that we think of the structure in the body. Your fascia plays such a huge role in holding you into the piece of a human that you are. And when we go through big feels, the fascia shortens and thickens to hold you in that big feeling. You might melt the heart down, soften into your softest pigeon, whatever it looks like, for a moment or two longer. Now, can you imagine all of this wonderful connective tissue covering your muscles, and then each time you're feeling deeply sorrowful, deeply stressed, deeply fearful, that fascia goes and it holds it, and then over time it just shortens permanently. And it doesn't matter how much the muscles move, the fascia around it is quite short, quite thick. So we spend time here releasing. We invite that deep awareness to elevate the experience, because when the mind and the body are connected, your fascia is like, oh, okay, yeah, let's repattern ourselves. Let's change some of this. All right, bring it back in. Sit back in staff pose. Ooh, you might even shake the toes out. Love you, beautiful thighs. All right, I'm gonna pull that blanket out from underneath my seat. We're gonna do some cat-cow. Yes, do we do cat-cow in every damn class? Absolutely. Is it like the one pose that everybody in yoga knows? Absolutely. Are the two poses? Absolutely. Is it also the two poses that can carry you through just about anything? Absolutely. Because cat cow does something really powerful. Let me show you. Now, we know how to do traditional cat cow. If you've ever like accidentally stumbled across yoga in your whole life, you know it's knees beneath the hips, hands beneath the knees. I'm using blocks and a blanket here just to bring ease to my body. And you might follow suit because if we're protecting the wrists, then press down through the forearms. Look what a beautiful tabletop I am. And all of my joints are happy. And if a blanket isn't enough for the knees, grab a bolster. Seriously, it is a game changer. Now, cat cow. Let's find our way to cat. When you're ready, we're going to curl the tailbone in towards the heart. See how the low back rounds? We want it to round now. That's a good thing now. So curling that tailbone in, we're going to drop the forehead. Let the top of the head hang heavy. You might even give your head a little swing left and right. Just make sure it's loose. And then you're going to try and touch your tailbone to your forehead. Whoo. And you're going to help out by pressing through the arms. So press length through the arms as you curl that forehead in towards the tailbone for cat. Here we are stretching the whole back body from the low back all the way up to the occipital bone, the back of the head. Okay, let's find our neutral tabletop once more. Cow pose. Everyone gets weird about it because, no one likes to accentuate the belly, but it's so powerful because Bidalasana, cow pose, opens the front body. And our front body, from our chin, down our throat, heart center, belly, low belly, all the way to the tailbone, tightens up. When we're scared, anxious, depressed, worried, stressed, the body closes and tightens. It's kind of to protect the heart, to protect your front self. And so cow pose, let the belly hang low. We're going to curl the tailbone now up towards the sky. That makes all sorts of space for your breath here down in the low belly. You might take a few deep breaths and just send it all the way down. And then to further open up the front body, you're going to lift your chin towards the wall in front of you. Lightly close your jaw, relax your tongue. Can you feel the front of your throat stretch? Can you feel the heart center open a little bit? What about the stretch in your belly with each inhale? Here we are, letting the muscles and the fascia that covers them know that it's okay to lengthen. It's okay to let go, that we are not anxious in this moment, that we are not fearful. Here we're breathing courage and energy and strength into the body. The heart is open, ready to receive. With each inhale, you might just imagine breathing in more energy, breathing in more strength, breathing in power, breathing in peace, whatever it is that's going to open up that heart center, open up the front of the body. And then when you're tired of this, because this is hard on the body, press the mat away, curl back into cat. It's just a counter posture. We'll take a moment, letting the head hang heavy, curling that tailbone in towards the forehead. Keeping the jaw lightly closed, the tongue stays soft. Breathe deep into your body. And then on your next inhale, drop it low to cow. I'm not going to lie. Cow doesn't feel like our favorite posture. But stretching that chin forward or even at an angle up towards the wall or ceiling, if that's more helpful. Breathing space into the front body heals us in more ways than you might ever know. From here, you might curl the toes onto your mat, walk the hands back with or without blocks, and then we're gonna roll up onto the balls of the feet. And you can stay on blocks at any level to support the body here, or you might simply staying up on the balls, bring the palms lightly into Anjali Mudra. And then here we bounce. We're just bouncing. We're having a moment of playfulness because this is such a natural movement of our bodies. And so we invite it. We're here to explore it, right? Maybe it just feels nice to hang out like this with the toes curled on the mat. Again, we're throwing out westernized yoga. We're not here for the shapes that are supposed to be made by some white lady on the magazine cover. No, we're here for the real yoga. We're here for the healing, not for the aesthetics. When you're ready, release those toes. Step the left leg forward, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky. Let's open up our heart even more. So lower those hands, place them on the hips. You might leave them here and lift through the head and the heart. Each breath, you might gently squeeze those shoulder blades together, lifting, opening. See how this is a lot like cow pose? And then on an exhale, lengthen that front leg. Curl those toes in towards the heart. Press the heart over the top of those toes, right? This pressure, lengthening the back body. And then rise up, switch sides. Inhale. And again, arms might remain lifted as you squeeze the shoulder blades back, or you might bring them down onto the hips. Either way, it's the lift that is way more important than shifting the pelvis forward. We'll get there if that's meant for you. But lift, open, create length through the spine, press through the neck, breathe space into the body, and then extend that front leg. Tuck the toes back towards the heart. You might even take this time, stretch your jaw. Let it be messy. Bring it back up. Switch sides. One last time on this side. You're going to take it as far as the body says yes to, and I'm going to give you lots of options. Again, we throw away shame. We take it as far as we want to. Grab your blocks if you've got them, if you'd like them. Place both on the inside of this left leg. On an inhale, find your way to your version of Anjaneyasana as we keep my mic in business. Beautiful. This time, we're all going to lower our hands to our hips. And then if you would like, you might slowly slide the thumbs towards one another until you can press the heels of your hands kind of down into the lumbar spine, the low back, and then squeeze the elbows together. See how we've just deeply rounded open to the front body here? And then we continue to open the front body because here we are in this front hip flexor. So all of this from the top of the head to the knee, deeply opening here. And with hands at the low back, squeezing those elbows together, you might shift the pelvic bowl forward, shift the hips forward. And the key here is you press down through that low back as hard as you rise through the heart and the head. And that keeps our lumbar spine from crunching the discs or the nerves at the low back that can cause a lot of pain. When you're ready, you might drop those hands down onto blocks, come into lizard pose. Here's option 1 for lizard. You might ditch the blocks, lower the hands down onto the earth. And then keep in mind, as you hang out in lizard, you might keep this knee in alignment, the pad of the foot planted. Or you might let this front knee flop open towards the side, come up onto the blade edge of that foot. And the truth is, lizard is such a huge heart opener that you can continue to just melt down and press your chin forward towards the wall in front of you. Oh my gosh, it's like cow on crack, right? Yeah. Opening up the whole front body. From the top of your right toes all the way up to the chin. And then slowly, ever so slowly, walk the hands back, counter pose. Just like we spent time in cat when we were in cow, this half Hanumanasana or Ardha Hanumanasana is a counter posture to that really deep hip flexor opener. All right, rise up, switch sides. Again, you might grab those blocks, Take it at your pace, right? Invite the belly into this space. Let the heels of the hands find the low back. Squeeze those elbows and then rise up. For every inch that you rise, you might press an inch forward. If the body stops lifting, you might stop pressing forward. Keep that space in the lumbar spine. Press that low back down. We're releasing all sorts of low back pain problems here. And then when you're ready, plant those hands on blocks or on the earth. Find your way to your version of lizard. What's your body say yes to in this moment? Because we win not when we make some shape that some white lady decided was super worthy of your attention, but when we make the shape that honors our experience, that allows us to remain present in sensation in our body without going into these negative tapes, that's when we win. Open up your lizard just as much as your body would like, pressing that chin forward. A deep front body opener. Oh, we need this so bad in our lives. So bad. When you're ready, walk it back. Our last Ardha Hanumanasana counter pose for a breath or two here. And then this has been a lot. I'd love to take 10 minutes and heat things up if y'all are down. You might hang out in I'm already sweating. You might hang out in wide-legged child's pose, bringing the knees out wide, big toes together, or set your hips back towards your heels, and then you just walk your hands forward. You can use your blanket as a little place to caress the heart. Might even roll it up. Walk the heart down, hands out. You can come down onto forearms. That can feel really nice. Because a child's pose here, we're opening up the hips. We're stretching the low back. We're opening up the front of the heart. That's what's happening in this pose. So it's not about the shape you make. It's about exploring what's happening in your body. Take it as far as you'd like. You might hang out here for a breath or two, but when you're ready, meet me either back in tabletop or in downward facing dog. For downward dog, I'm gonna grab my blocks. We've all seen traditional downward dog where we plant our hands on the earth. I'm using blocks. You can use it at any setting. I like the medium one for this. Curl the toes in the mat, press the hips up and back. The beauty here is the further that we lift the earth, the more of our body weight gets shifted back into our legs. And I don't know about you, but my legs are a lot stronger than my wrists. So that's why we lift the earth. And if you want to support the wrists even more, lift yourself even higher. And you can still melt the heart back between those big toes. So hang out in your version of downward dog or tabletop. And you might walk the dog, bending the left knee, then the right. I said this in class this morning, but your first dog is the worst dog. You'll remember that forever. In yoga, your first dog is the worst dog. It's the hardest. So we move, because movement brings ease in the midst of intensity. You ever feel stressed and rock back and forth, sway, hum? These are all things that calm the nervous system in the midst of intensity. And then when you're ready, let's all meet in that tabletop. Whew. From tabletop, walk the hands towards the knees. You can keep those blocks if it feels right. We're gonna do like I call it abbreviated tabletop. Or abbreviated cat-cow. Instead of having the hands up here beneath the shoulders, we walk them back in front of the knees and then press the mat away, curl the tailbone in, round the spine to cat. All right, drop the top of your head towards the earth. You might notice how different this feels in your body. Whew, it can feel really friggin' good, so take some time here. You might even shift from side to side. Just explore how this deep back stretch feels. And then on your next inhale, lift the chin skyward. We're gonna curl that tailbone up as well. Plenty of space for the belly and the heart. Ah, abbreviated cow. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, drop it low, lift the chin. Back and forth. Oh, sometimes I like this better than even traditional cat-cow. On your next exhale, how far can you press the mat away? See how my shoulder blades round? We're creating space between the shoulder blades by lengthening through the arms. And then you get a really intense stretch, dropping the head down towards the earth. Beautiful. If it feels nice, walk it back to your traditional cat-cow or sweep it up into down dog. I know. Walk your dog. The first dog was the worst dog. Maybe you might notice this one feels a little less scary, a little less hard. If you'd like, or when you'd like, walk, skip, step, jump towards the front of the mat. Find yourself in a big old fold. I make space. I'm going to face you here. I make space for my body by widening my hips, almost math width apart. And then as I lower my heart and my belly, I might widen my knees out, tuck it in, let my head drop, and then lengthen my legs back out as much as feels good. And what you find is, you ready? We can all stand up and just like take a moment and watch, because no one wants to forward fold for 2 minutes unless you do. And then listen to your body. So here's a traditional forward fold. They cue feet hip distance apart or big toes together. On an inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold. This is how you're taught. Okay, and then look what happens. Do you see how? It's just like when we sat down. My back rounds because my belly is competing with my thighs, and we don't need that. We can learn how to cue bodies in all different shapes and sizes. So to correct it, it looks like this. Watch what happens. Heel toe it out, a little wider. Inhale. As you sweep the arms up, you're going to lengthen through the spine as well. Take all of that length in with you as you fold. You might open the knees out just a little bit. Notice how the belly tucks. You can even use your hands to gently tuck it inward. And then as I lengthen out, do you see? The curve to my back is almost neutralized. All by just making space for my body. All by just knowing that there's nothing wrong with the shape that I am worthy of exploration, of captaining the ship that is my journey in life. On your next inhale, you might rise up to flat back, pressing the palms against the shins or against blocks. Pressing strong through the pads of the feet, lengthen out through the head. This is a back body strengthener. Whew. And then when you're ready, we're going to lower down either into cat-cow or downward dog. So walk it back. Be where you want to be. You might cat-cow. You might walk the dog. Whew. And then from here, wide-legged child's pose. Find your way to where you want to be. If you really want to open up the shoulders and you're like, yeah, let's get extra today, take blocks, lowest level. Draw them in so that the upper arms can plant on the blocks, palms together, wide enough that your head can fit between them, and then lower the head and the heart towards the earth. Whew. Take time and breathe. Relax through your armpits. Let the heart hang heavy. Let the jaw remain soft. Let the front body open. Let the heart open as it reaches for the earth. You can feel the energy of Mother Nature reaching up to refresh your heart, to pour love out over it, to wash away some of the heaviness, some of the dirt that's gotten in the way of you seeing how incredible it is to be you in this moment on this earth. What a miracle you are. When you're ready, we're going to press up into a seat. And you might end, crisscross applesauce and Sukhasana. But do what's comfortable. It's like a bajillion degrees. Okay, so it's like 80 degrees. From here, if it feels right, you might bring palms toward the heart center. This is pretty traditional. Sometimes I like to do this, just stacking the hands or placing the hands on the chest. This is a beautiful somatic grounding move because as you place hands on the heart center, relax the shoulders down, let the arms grow heavy, and you can just feel that weight. It's like a hug. Take a moment here. You might give yourself just an energetic hug. This is a beautiful somatic resource available anytime life is feeling overwhelming. All you gotta do is place the hands over the heart and breathe. Ground yourself down. Your healing journey is messy because it's meant to be messy. It's wild because in the messy wildness, there is so much wisdom for you to learn. There's so much beauty for you to unravel. And so here you are, perfectly messy, perfectly healing, perfectly imperfect, and worthy as, do you hear me? Next time you see your reflection in the mirror, I want you to say, you are worthy as. Yeah, say it. Let me know how it goes. And thank you for hanging out with me. I've got some time. If you guys want to talk and hang, we can. I might grab some iced tea first because, holy crap, Batman. How are you all? Aw, Kim, thank you. Yay! I love it. Yeah, Bad Boo Kitty. I am so excited by y'all. MB Osborne! There's a wonderful human for ya. All right, y'all. How are you staying cool? Is it hot where you are? For those of us without air conditioning, life, it's like a living sauna. I just keep telling myself, I'm sweating out. I'm sweating out things my body doesn't want anymore. It's good. Hello. Oh, Suma Job. I'm glad it was good. I'm glad you needed it. Oh, Shell. Yay. Thanks. It's Michelle. Thanks, Kim. All right, y'all. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to roll on TikTok anymore, but I'm going to keep trying. Here's the deal. I'm going to release August's schedule here this weekend. I'll post it here on TikTok as well, which is something I haven't done since literally December. And we are going to be having a crap ton of classes in August. I'm going to be teaching 5 classes a day, 5 days a week almost. And my goal is to take all of those recordings and create such an incredible online library for us to use. And also to keep the classes on the schedule that have the most impact, positive impact on our community. So you might follow me here because I'm going to announce future classes. You might have already signed up for a class and be getting my newsletter. Either way, you'll hear about it. There's a link in my bio that takes you to my website, which has our live class schedule on it. So you can definitely find it there. But if you want reminders, you'll find them here or there. All Bodies Yoga, Danae, yeah. I'm just excited. What I learned is I keep trying to teach classes to people that don't exist, right? So I get all my equipment set up, I get the lighting right, and then I press record and I just sit there and I overthink it. And I'm like, oh, it's not perfect because I know I can edit it. But the moment that I'm teaching a live Zoom class, I am there. There's nowhere else that I want to be. And I understand that there's no editing. And so it's much easier for me to allow the words to flow, the feelings to flow, and to be present in the moment. So that's why we're going to have a crazy August schedule and then use it to benefit you and me. All right, y'all. Oh, I'm so glad my presence is felt. I love it. I look forward to it. Yes. Is this every Friday? Yes. Yes, Adana. Ah, hello, mouse. Yes, it is every Friday here. And then I teach live Zoom classes, which totally freaks people out, but it's so low key. Like you could join and leave in the middle of class. No one would know. You don't have to have your camera or your mic on. Like I'm not going to single you out in class. It's just like this, except for after class, we hang out and we can like chat or drink tea, or you could just like dip out and no one knows. There are so many cool ways that we can interact. Some people type in the chat after class. Some people turn on their mics and talk. Some people turn on their cameras and mics. And we just have built community. And then we took that community into Discord. And our community is ready to grow. Like we're ready for you to be a part of it. So if you're looking for support from people in a variety of bodies and a variety of sizes, with a wide plethora of chronic illnesses or neurodivergence or disability, which kind of is all intertwined in that, we are a community of humans healing messily, and it's incredible, and you are so welcome there. You are so welcome there. And if it helps you to join Zoom classes or to watch the replays later on YouTube or to find, live classes here, hell yeah. So I love y'all. I'm gonna keep showing up. I'm working on it every day. Yay! Thanks so much, Adana. Intersectionality, hell yes. All right, beautiful humans. I'm ready to bounce. Do something wonderful for yourself tonight. Maybe it's eating a piece of fruit that you have been thinking about and doing it with your eyes closed and with music in your earbuds. Maybe you're gonna turn on your best fuck you song and go jump around in your bedroom, in your underpants. Maybe you take a bubble bath and your journal and you write down everything that you're stressed about, everything that's on your mind, everything that worries you, ails you, and then you crumple it up, get it nice and wet, and flush it down the toilet and relieve yourself of its pressure as you dry off from your beautiful candlelit bath. So yes, BLT with Garden Fresh Tomatoes. Super Job, I have so many tomato plants growing because I am so obsessed with tomatoes that are homegrown. I can taste that tomato. I just want a bacon tomato in my sandwich, in my mouth. All right. Y'all are making me hungry. I'm going to go find some dinner and some of my sweet, sweet babes to love on. Have such a wonderful night. Fight capitalism, right? Fight consumerism. We're not here to center men, money, or whiteness. We're just here to heal, be, and learn from each other. All right. Nothing better than homegrown. Take care, beautiful humans.